All right, this is the next project. Found this by accident, couldn't pass it up, and didn't need it. This is a newer version, and I'm not going to try and move that because I've got this very lightly set on the table. But this is a newer version of the Radial Arm Saw that I kind of refurbed. And just picked this up this morning, and I'll start panning around. This is the original table. Didn't see a whole lot of usage, so I'll repurpose this table, and then let me give you a close-up of all the goodies that were included. He threw in this, a molding set. Didn't need it, but neither did he. This was his father's, and he was getting rid of it. These are two Craftsman roller stands. I have some Harbor Freight Gennaros. The only rust, other than what I would call, surface rust, is right here on the box frame that I will strip off and clean, and I'll show you why. Otherwise, it was just dirty and dusty. I mean, I don't think it was used very much. It's extremely clean, and what makes this really nice is this is actually a Craftsman Professional. And the fact that it's a professional series, I think this was just under $1,000 when it was new. And I want to say he had the table incorrect. I think this is how he had the table, and I'm gonna say, in fact, I'll do it here in a few minutes, and then show you what I think the table would be, because somebody else corrected me when I put my other one together. But it looks like, all the parts are here. Things are solid. Again, here's the other roller, Craftsman roller. There's the Craftsman name. Now the stand, good news, bad news on the stand. Some of it was in great condition, and then other parts were not. In fact, I don't even know what this shit is, but obviously it was a corrosive liquid to some degree, so I don't know that I will salvage all of this stand, or even try to. Not sure. Maybe clean off that corrosive rust, and I don't know. But the metal, it's good metal. It's not the bendy shit that stuff is today. So obviously something from the 90s, and a little more robust on the arm that I have on here temporarily. But let me show you what I think the table should look like, and then we'll take the table off, and you can see some of the dust. I mean, I've cleaned it up dust wise, but nothing else. So I'll actually have to bust out the manual, but I think it's front table, shorty fence, and rear table. Maybe these two are reversed. I honestly can't recall, but somebody made a big stink about one of my last, my previous Radial Arm Saw configuration, in that the fence, the blade is supposed to be behind the fence. So technically, maybe I can do this one-handed. Maybe that's how it's supposed to go. I don't know. I'm not gonna lose a whole lot of sleep over it. I'll look in the manual, and I'm thinking maybe the fence back here though, but we'll see. And I forgot to mention, one of the key drivers that drew me to this, because the last thing I need is another Radial Arm Saw, was this version has a motor in the back, whereas the other one was all mechanical. The only motor was what did the turn the blade. So this on and off switch, and I took the key out, but this on and off switch controls the saw, the turning, the rotation of the saw. This switch with this A, B, and C rotation is for speed of pull. And there's a pulley back here, and because it's not plugged in, you can't see, but this motor is, when you depress that trigger, you're able to move the saw forward, and I want to say it's supposed to pull back, but I don't believe it does that. So again, this is going to be part of the restoration, but this is kind of what intrigued me. hardly any rust compared to, you know, previous versions of stuff that I've seen. So this should be an incredibly easy restoration, as far as I wouldn't even call it a restoration, a cleanup, just a good deep cleaning. And I will put this on another Wen base, so I'll order that today, and we'll look inside here in a second and see how dirty it is. And for sitting in a shed, the amount of rusting is extremely light. It was more dirty, and it's already been cleaned a little bit. When I broke it down, I had a brush and I was trying to brush things out. But you know, aside from just being dusty, sawdusty, it is in amazing condition. I'm very impressed with it. So, on to cleaning. And another thing I forgot to mention, this is all the original that came with it, so from the 90s. Let's see if this shows up good on film, maybe not. This is the area of box damage. Very similar on the other side, but the lighting's not so great. We're going to give this a try. This is Rust-Oleum Reformer, so I will scrape lightly off the rust with a brush, nothing heavy duty, and then just spray this. And I'm going to do the same, if you can see that, inside here, which we've got some rust here and some rust there. Again, not sure if the camera's picking it up or not. Maybe let me get a flashlight. Now, let's see. That's a little better. So we've got some rust that came through the little hole there. Nothing major. But again, I like to stop the rust before it grows into anything bigger. I was thinking about doing the rust solvents and stuff, which I've done, which only create a wetter surface. And I thought, you know what? I've read about this stuff. I've seen some videos on it. Let me give it a try and see if it instantly converts the rust to a protected paintable surface, which I won't paint because this will go under the table and relatively unseen. So I'm doing it for protection purposes only. And I think that's the only, you know, rust damage. Again, we've talked about the little bolts and nuts that are just need to be sprayed and light brushing, but in terms of corrosion, we'll see if we can address that. So back another day when it's all done. So that was easy and quick. Did a little tape. I'm not concerned about color matching and all this over here right now. As you can see, I'm started to spray oil on WD-40 on all the bolts just to get them a little fresher, but this came out pretty good for an area that this came out as good, if not better. And I should probably get the flashlight again so you can see. Okay, so that came out decent in terms of at least the rust is gone. I don't want the lighting situation. It's hard to tell. I mean, it looks better than the rust, and that was just a natural spray. No taping. Maybe I should have taken that approach here. Oh well. All right, so now it's not really a restore from here. It's just building the base, the tabletop, and cleaning the shit out of it because it's just dirty. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, that's probably, I sprayed that with some WD-40 to try and loosen the rust up. But I mean, again, WD-40. The surface stuff, when I give it a good spray down, will all go away. Good stuff. Again, bolts, nuts, let them soak up the spray. You can see it glistening. Let them work it in. It's a nice unit. Nice unit. And the only thing missing that I can tell, in fact, I took these off to soak them in Evapor Rust. The I don't know what they're called. Little things that lock the back table in. this is the only thing missing. This elbow, this 90-degree elbow, which I found on eBay for 10 bucks. So that's on its way. And then I think it's feature complete, except for you know, old age. All right, we're gonna record this for yet at least the second time, and that has to do with the fact that some camera settings just, I guess, auto reset. As you can see, the stand is now done, the new stand. I've marked off in tape where I want to mount the Radial Arm Saw, the new version, the Craftsman Professional. Love these stands, great value for the money, extremely well built and quite versatile. And I think, you know, as I said before, the only real thing left to do on this is more cleaning than any restoration. Yeah, it's dirty and got some rustiness, but it's not like the drill press. So, you know, the worst case I think I'm looking at is the height adjustment rod down there in the center, and I'll start doing that before mounting it to the stand. I don't plan on doing any cleaning when it's on the stand, so I think I'll do that all beforehand. But yeah, it's just take things off, clean it out, you know, wipe down the base. The most creative I got, as you can see now with my artwork here, is using my airbrush and little mini compressor that I picked up a few years ago as I did the brick room, the little gaps between the wood seams to try and blend them so they don't stand out so much. So if you recall, this corner was quite rusty, and now it's not as black. So I used the Rust-Oleum rust reformer, I think it was called, and taped off a section on each side after cleaning it, and then sprayed the rust reformer. Let that dry for a couple days, and then decided to leverage the paint that I picked up for the drill press that I ended up not using. But it turns out that that particular color is an exact match, at least color-wise, for this particular base. The finish is a little bit different. It's not quite the same satin finish, but color-wise, I think it came out pretty darn good. It's a heck of a lot better than looking, you know, at two black stripes, one on each side. It's in an area that will be visible, but it won't be, you know, completely obvious. So I think it'll blend kind of nice. So I say yay to the airbrush.